Good day. Welcome. My name is Dawn. I'm a Yin Yoga instructor. I offer yoga classes at JJ Park. Today, I'd like to take you through a couple of postures for the spine. So we're going to work on both flexion and extension of the spine. Altogether, we'll be here for about maybe 20 minutes, under 20 minutes, pretty sure. So let's get started. First thing you're going to need is your mat, if you have one, blanket. If you have a blanket, this might come in helpful we're only doing a couple postures with it. It may come in helpful. The other thing is if you have a yoga bolster or any kind of pillows, couch pillows, anything like that, cushions, that would be great. You may need that as well. Okay, so let's get started. First thing we're going to do is Sphinx. Sphinx is a lovely posture. We're going to extend our front body and compress the lower spine. If you have any real big issues with that lower spine, this really might not be for you. Although, of course, it's good to work the back body. I will show you a couple things to do that might help you. So you might still want to stick around and see what we can do here. So first of all, I will show you about the bolster. First of all, just coming down onto your belly here. Your forearms are on the mat. Your hands are probably just shoulder width apart. Your arms, your hands. And just sinking into that lower back, into the lower body, the whole lower body, okay? Letting the legs be heavy on the mat. Rather than just sinking down into the posture, just a little bit of effort into the forearms, just to keep that space between your neck, between your shoulders and your ears. Right, so this would be the first place that you could stay. You can choose to just stay here, find a little focus point, maybe 4 feet in front of you, or close your eyes. If this hurts your shoulders, first of all, that's where this might come in handy, to have some pillows or some kind of props. You can put your lower ribs right onto that bolster here, and that's going to take that effort out of the shoulders, okay? You're still getting the benefits in that lower region there, in that lumbar region. Again, same thing. Find some stillness. And just breathe. The other thing that you could do, with or without the bolster, if it's too much in your lower back, is to bend those knees. Try that. So you can try bending your knees. There you go. If that helps, great. The other thing, if it's a little bit too much for your lower back, is just inch yourself forward. Inch those hands forward, the elbows forward. Maybe coming right down onto the lower ribs. And then finding stillness here. Lastly, maybe you inch forward, maybe you don't. But maybe you bring the legs together and engage the lower body. So this is not as yin, but it is a protection for that lumbar region if it's feeling a little bit too much for you, okay? And just find stillness here. So wherever you're at, please just stay in the posture and just breathe. I'm going to show a variation if there's anyone out there watching that may be pregnant. So a couple things that you can do. You can still do this posture. What you might want to do is have your pillows such a way. So the first bolster would be under your thighs, and the second bolster could be used under your elbows. So your belly can just hang. Okay? So you still get that benefit. You still are able to enjoy the Sphinx posture. If you've got a nice little belly, it's just hanging right here. We don't want any pressure on that belly. So find maybe your back a bit more. Find out where you need to be. Again, and just finding some stillness. Breathing into the lumbar region. Just noticing where you need the breath and then sending it there. Stay here for a couple more breaths. All right, on your next inhale, I want you to start working your way back, all the way back into that child's pose. So here we have a nice flexion of the spine. This pose is a very calming posture for most people. It's a counter pose to the Sphinx posture. But in our case, we're going to stay in this posture for a couple of minutes. All right, so I have my knees together. All right, you can try it that way or pretty close together. If that is not comfortable for you, or maybe if you are pregnant and you have that belly, you can open those legs nice and wide and try it that way. Put your forehead onto the mat. If you cannot reach the mat with your forehead, you might then try a pillow or your blanket, forehead. The other thing you can do, especially for some of us, there's great discomfort. We're stretching the top of the feet here. Maybe it's too much. So if that is something, then you might take your blanket that you have, roll it up, maybe putting it underneath your ankles, so that can be helpful. Okay, back down into your posture. And if you have problem with the knees are achy, they're bothering you, you might take that blanket instead, roll it up to however you need it, or maybe it's a pillow. Maybe put the pillow coming in between your thighs and your calves here to take some pressure off those knees. And again, coming on down. Okay. A couple more breaths here. So whether your knees are together or your knees are apart, just allowing yourself to send the breath into that lumbar region that we just worked in Sphinx. And now we're getting that extension in the back body for the spine. And this is actually, this is called flexion. The extending, so we're making it longer. But it's actually the flexion of the spine. Okay. Last breath here. And then pushing the floor away, coming up. Allowing yourself to just sit for a moment. All right. We're going to come back into Sphinx for a very, very short little moment, and then working our way into Seal. Onto the belly again. Back into your Sphinx, whatever version, wherever you were at. If this is enough for you, if you're finding this quite juicy, please don't come into Seal. It's not necessary. These are all just variations. These are all just options. Stay here. Enjoy in a couple more minutes in Sphinx. Okay, we're not going to stay long in Seal, but if this is enough, then this is where you belong. All right? If you're craving more and you're not really feeling the compression in the lower spine here, then what you can do is come on down, bring your hands a little wider, make them into Seal hands, so they're not pointing right forward, they're at a little bit of an angle. Push into those hands, come on up. This is our Seal posture. So really pressing the floor away from you. Shoulders down the back. In this posture of Seal, but not Sphinx, don't do this in Sphinx. If you are in Seal, you might also bring the head back. So working the entire spine and also getting an opening in the whole throat, the front of the throat area. Otherwise, just finding your drishti, your little focus point, maybe 4 feet in front of you, soft gaze. The other option, which is a great option, is to close your eyes and breathe. Notice what's happening in the body. If you did come into seal and now are actually regretting it, please just make your way into Sphinx. A few more breaths here. Now, whether you are in seal or whether you are in Sphinx, both, either or, come all the way down. Open those elbows nice and wide and just bring your forehead onto the back of your hands or even right down onto your mat. Just allow yourself to find some rest. Breathing here. Sending the breath into that lower back area, into that lumbar region that we just had such a compression in. So good for us, but it also may make you feel fragile in these areas that we work. This is totally normal. We hold it for quite a while, and we hold it in stillness. That fragility, it dissipates, it goes away, but initially coming out of the posture, you may feel that. Two more breaths here. Noticing the sensations in your body. Noticing where your breath lands. On your next inhale, bring your hands, the palms of your hands to the floor. Push the floor away. Come all the way up. Back into that child's pose. So whatever you did the first round, maybe just go right back there. You know where you're going. Find that comfort zone. Especially after seal, it actually might feel good to do some cat-cow. They don't have to be huge. They don't have to be wonderfully perfect. Just any kind of movement, maybe even hips side to side. Any kind of organic kind of movement after being in that seal and or in that Sphinx. And then eventually down into that child's pose if you're not already there. Again, forehead to the mat, your hips are on your heels. If they don't make it all the way and you'd like to, you can put a blanket here. If your knees are bothering you, remember to put that blanket in between. You can even put more. You could even put like a cushion. You do want to protect your knees. If there's pain there, please either don't do the child's pose or find something else you could do, which could be lying on your back and just hugging your knees in, okay? Otherwise, if you're here, knees apart, knees together, finding your place, and resting your head down on the mat. You can even bring your hands, your arms down by your side, giving those shoulders a nice break, especially after Sphinx and seal. Your body really might be asking for that. It wants a break in the shoulders. We did work them. We were working the spine, but of course, there's always secondary muscles we work. And in this case, of course, our shoulders. and our wrists. And here, our ankles. Staying here, 3 more complete inhales and complete exhales in your child's pose. Making your way back up to seated, staying for a moment, noticing your breath, noticing where that breath lands in your body. Notice if there's any achiness, any buzzing, any kind of pulsing in the body in the postures that we just did. So the echoes of that posture. Eventually making your way into just a nice little seated position here. Thank you for joining me today. It's been my pleasure to offer this to you. And I'll see you all again very soon. Namaste.